that's not right. That's not right at all. There, maybe that's better, but I think I need to adjust some volume elsewhere. Good evening and welcome to my laptop now has Debian 12 installed and everything doesn't quite work properly. One thing that doesn't quite work properly is where the hell has Crusader Kings gone? This may not work very well. Because my window capture doesn't appear to be capturing a window. We've got a screen capture or a pipe wire window capture rather than... Okay, well, excuse me while I reconfigure... reconfigure OBS to work properly. That looks better, doesn't it? Right, let's remove the other one. No, let's remove that one. Delete. Yes. Right. Good evening, and why have you put a title bar on that? Is that title bar going to stay there, do you think? Oops. Let me go... How can I test this? I do that, and then wait a little bit, and then see if the title bar disappears in the stream. Is the title bar going to... Yes, it does. Right, okay. We're getting this vaguely organised now. And now the title bar comes back again. Yes, right. Now I just need to get my ability to see IRC at the same time sorted, and then we can actually get going. I apologise for the faff if anyone's actually watching already. Right, so where were we when we were not mucking around trying to make OBS work correctly? Do yell if the audio is not behaving itself. I've very rapidly set it up approximately correctly. In particular, if I'm clipping, then I need to change things. So, Queen Lucia of Italy. So what happened last session, roughly? Gregory the Thin-Minded, King of Italy, died. He had been put on the throne by, somewhat to his surprise and slight irritation, by a faction in Italy, and having ruled Italy reasonably competently for a little while, he fairly expectedly, frankly, dropped dead. He was succeeded by Queen Carola, who had been the former concubine and then wife of the High Chief of Lesser Poland. She went, aha, unlike my predecessor, I do not have a truce with the King of Germany. Let me declare war on Germany and try to claim the Duchy of Hesse. She had arranged herself alliances with both Arles and Croatia before she started. So this looked pretty good. It didn't go very well. Queen Carola was badly wounded in a battlefield duel, which she technically won, but she also lost the battle in question. And fairly shortly thereafter, she lost the war, leaving her somewhat the poorer and severely injured. Thus, it wasn't entirely surprising when at the age of 43 she died. She had also, as a result of the elective Gavelkind succession that was in force at the time, and still is indeed, lost the land belonging to the kingdoms of Romagna and Sardinia and Corsica. So the Kingdom of Italy passed to another woman in the Di Spoleto dynasty, Queen Lucia. So the reason why we're getting a large number of women inheriting is that the Di Spoleto dynasty is fairly small, and in general electors are a bit dubious about passing crowns on to people who already have kingdoms. So in general, most of the male Dispoletos are either bishops or kings already. So now we're down to mostly like boys and women, and hence Queen Lucia has now inherited. So Queen Lucia has had a rather better time of things. Oh yes, Queen Carola also suffered a revolt, an internal revolt by the Doge of Genoa, trying to change the succession law. She died before the revolt could be defeated, but Queen Lucia successfully defeated it, in part by realising that she had money and could thus hire mercenaries, and so she did. And having hired the mercenaries, she kept using them and took the county of Perugia, I think, or was it Arezzo? One of these two counties, anyway, back from the king of Romagna. Romagna is what the papal states are called when they're not held by the Pope. And she has kept those mercenaries around because they're not very expensive and they're a good contribution to the war effort, and is now considering what to do next. Conveniently, oh yes, she took that county largely because Romagna is suffering an internal revolt. We can see here a Romagnol revolt and the main part of Romagna, each only 3 counties. So she took that one county off the revolt, but she does actually have a weak claim on the Kingdom of Romagna. And conveniently, the King of Sardinia and Corsica has just gone to war with Romagna for the crown of Romagna, which means open season on Romagna. If you have a weak claim, you can press it. So Queen Lucia is now considering the possibility of taking advantage of the fact that she still has these 1,200 hired troops to go to war with Romagna for the Kingdom of Romagna, hopefully managing to swipe it before the King of Sardinia and Corsica, Gregory the Black, gets there. Gregory the Black is, I think, one of the sons of Gregory the Thin-Minded, and Romagna is held by someone, Guido, who is another one of the sons of Gregory the Thin-Minded. So basically, everywhere other than Italy is held by a son of Gregory the Thin-Minded. But we have longer-term plans as well, because we are still eyeing up Germany with the idea of forming the Holy Roman Empire. Now, to form the Holy Roman Empire, in addition to holding the crown of Germany, we also need a German as King of Italy and Germany. And unfortunately, all the Dispoletos are currently Italian, apart from one who I've spotted is Greek, and Eugenia, who is Anglo-Saxon, I think. But Greek and Anglo-Saxon are no use either. So we can turn people German if we get them as children and get them educated by preferably diligent, gregarious Germans. And in fact, we were trying to do this with Prince Gianleone, who is in our court for reasons. I think because we started tutoring him while I was playing as Gregory the Thin-Minded, at which point Gregory the Black didn't have a kingdom and was thus a vassal of Gregory the Thin-Minded and was quite happy to entrust his son to us. So one thing that I didn't realise when I tried to set this up before is that we don't just need someone who is German, we need someone in a German court. But conveniently we have a German court available because we control this lump up here. And Duke Adelhard is very much German. So, because this is stuff I've worked out in the week we've been away, because Gianleone is in our court, because we were teaching him already, I think we can send him off to be tutored in the court of Adelhard and to thus stand a good chance of becoming German. So if we choose assign guardian here, we can say we would like to find a guardian for Jan Leone. Now, we ideally want someone who is either gregarious or diligent, or preferably both. So for diligent, we have Amalie, 97449, and a tough soldier, or Walter, 42785, and a naive appeaser. Well, Amalie might be all right, but I think we can do better under gregarious. Under gregarious, we have Sieghard, Count of Haturia, 8, 15, 9, 12, 5, and a skilled tactician. So he's not an ideal teacher, but he's a pretty good one. So we can send Gian Leone to be taught by Count Sieghard of Haturia, and Gian Leone might become German, which is precisely what we want. We want some German. We want some German Di Spoletos. Preferably, we want a brilliant German Di Spoleto who will make an excellent First Holy Roman Emperor. But maybe Gian Leone will turn out to be that. But if not, maybe he'll have children who turn out to be that. So, looks like this will be accepted. Let's do it. Now, do we have, hint, I think we do, any more Di Spoletos we can take advantage of? That was the wrong button. Find characters. Great House, my dynasty. Anywhere in my court? No. Who are the other? So these are the children who are Di Spoletos. All of these are too young to be educated. Gregory looks interesting because he is a genius. He is currently the only genius. We've been trying to breed for genius by Gregory the Black, so he might be useful if we can work out a way to get him to become German. We are in the process of making Gian Leone German. Francesca. So I came up with a way we could get Francesca into our court, because she is currently being tutored by our anti-pope. So if we were to get our anti-pope into our court, for instance by appointing him as court chaplain, then that would get Francesca, and then we could at the moment, if we try to assign a guardian, we could only assign someone in our court. I suppose that might be good enough if we assign her to someone in our court. Oh, except she won't be sent here. Child will be a hostage in a foreign power. Her father, King Guido, wouldn't allow that. Well, actually, if her father's King Guido, maybe we just wait and we just go to war with him and get him to be our vassal, and then that'll help. Because that will save pissing off our current court chaplain. Also, she is 15. We've got at most a year. When's her birthday? 15th of December. We've got 4 months in which to try to turn her German. We have no hope of doing that anyway. Does he have any more children? So Alicia, on the other hand, is a newborn who we can probably try to convert to Germanness in due course. Right, let's not try to do anything to Francesca then. Let's leave Francesca where she is. So I think now we go, King Guido has 2.3 thousand troops. We have, on a good day, 5,000. Also, King Guido is currently at war with his revolt, which is currently winning, but probably won't be for very long. Amalfi, because Amalfi's trying to take the city of Napoli off him, and Gregory the Black. He's probably going to lose Amalfi. I think he's not going to lose this revolt war, though, because the leader of the revolt only has 120 men left, because we kept killing them when we were at war with the revolt. So I think he's not going to lose to the revolt. He will probably lose Napoli, but we'll live with that. we hope then that we can get Romagna off him before Gregory the Black does, but that Gregory the Black will be distracting him enough that we'll be able to bring enough forces to bear to crush him. That's the idea. Shall we have a go? So, King Guido. I have a claim on Romagna. And therefore, if we win, we gain the Kingdom of Romagna and 100 prestige. Guido will still keep in particular the duchies of Latium and Capua, on which I also have claims. But he will then become our vassal. Claire says, I'm very disconcerted to find that the HRE was not in Rome, nor largely in Italy. False advertising, etc. Well, I'm planning to make an HRE that does own Rome and controls the Pope, and is thus both holy and Roman. So, let's go. We are now at war with Romagna. So let's start finding some armies. Ideally, we want to raise them close to our existing army. Well, they're better than nothing. Let us accumulate everyone in the mountains of Parma if it's got enough supply limit. Those guys can sit. Let's send them to Spoleto and hope for the best. Hang on. Oh, they're some of my very few domain troops, are they? They're all my domain troops. Okay. Gregory is probably not going to attack us, actually, if we can keep somewhat out of his way. Now, what I'll do, since they're domain troops, they'll have decent morale when raised, so I'm going to save them and raise them when we come to actually attack. We should be able to raise some troops here as well. Some. Sorry, I'm now having to catch up on IRC. Right. So, okay. Have I raised... Oh, I've probably still got some troops available up here, haven't I? No, okay. Let's raise all our remaining troops and see where they turn out to be, because I can't remember where all my vassals are. That might be safe. Have I got an organiser I can stick in charge of that army so that they'll be able to outrun everyone? No, why haven't I got an organiser, eh? I should clearly get myself an organiser. I presume I really haven't got an organiser. Yeah. Oh well. Hopefully that lot won't get massacred on their way, because it's going to be a bit harder to win this without them. So, yes. Oh, there's that lot as well. Actually, in that case, let's have them just hunker down in... Let's have them optimistically hunker down in Spoleto, and that lot join them in Spoleto, and we'll hope that that works. Actually, I think I should run my wars at 1 times at the slowest speed rather than the second slowest, because occasionally things have been getting away from me a bit. So far, Romagna and Sardinia and Corsica seem just to be busy besieging one another, which is excellent. If they keep doing that while I assemble my armies, I will be happy. Right, so Prince Gianleone is now being tutored in Haturia. So that should help. Meanwhile, I had another plan, didn't I? Let's set that plan in action, which was, at the moment, of our vassals, one is notably pissed off, namely the Doge of Genoa. Now, there are several reasons why the Doge of Genoa is pissed off. One is that he revolted against our rule, or rather, he revolted against our having the wrong succession law, and we crushed his revolt. So there's a -10 for defeated me, but we also have a +15 in general for having crushed his revolt, and even he is kind of impressed at how we crushed his revolt. But he's also fed up because we have high taxes and large levies against him, and we're the wrong government type. Oh, and he's in prison. So I think we should let him out of prison. Well, when I say let him out, I mean get him to give us 145 gold and then let him out. Because, well, that'll get us 145 gold, which will be excellent for our supply of mercenaries. It will also cheer him up, which should increase his tax income. I'm also kind of inclined to reduce his levy requirements, because you don't have a vassal merchant republic and then for the purposes of getting them to supply you with troops. You have a vassal merchant republic for money, and so we should not try to get troops out from him. We should keep him happy and take all his money. Meanwhile, we also have a couple of other people whom I'm sure we have no good reason for keeping. We have the Count of Bologna for some reason. Was he the Count of Bologna when we imprisoned him? He inherited the county. I think he has inherited the county of Bologna since we imprisoned him. That's kind of amusing. Or possibly he has some more money now. Oh, we can get 70 gold for ransoming him now. Anna's only worth 10 gold. Well, let's ransom the Count of Bologna as well then. Yeah, he didn't supply me with any levies this time either, because his opinion of me is so terrible. The Doge, yes. Pink Beast asked, "What if he's supplying any? Is the Doge of Genoa even supplying any levies?" No, he isn't. I hit Z on him on one of his counties, and no levies appeared. Let's march that lot into Parma as well. So yes, more money will obviously be good. So yes, I think we should thus change the obligation law of city levies. Tales of your misdeeds are told from Ireland to Cathay. I accept paying your ransom for the safe return of Doge Aliardo, who is you. Me, whatever. Yes, thank you. I mean, like, they weren't really misdeeds. You revolted against me and I crushed your revolt. I would love to revoke your title, but we're not allowed to revoke titles in Italy. So instead, I am going to try to make you relatively happy. You only now have a -3 opinion, so that's only slightly reducing my tax take from you. No, that's wrong person's vassals. If I look at my vassals, so we now get a 3% reduction in our tax take from him by as a result of his opinion. But on the other hand, we still don't want a vassal with -3 opinion. That's a dangerous thing to have. So I think we can raise 0 troops from him because of his opinion of us. So I think we should say, well, in that case, let's use our once in 10 years law change. I don't think there's anything else we want to change, to reduce city levies to minimum, and that will cheer him up, while still allowing us to keep all our taxes from him. Frankly, I'd turn them up to harsh if I thought I could get away with it. Or rather, if I didn't need to have legalism 6 to achieve that. So I think I'm going to do that. Will of course depend on whether anyone else votes for them. So far, only I have voted, and I voted in favour. Right. Let's unpause. Count Bonifacio has paid his own ransom. Well, let's also ransom Anna, who's... yes, his mother, in fact. I'm slightly peeved that he's only willing to offer 10 to ransom his mother, but... whatever. Going on here, so that's part of. All right, that's occupied by the revolt, and that's mountains. And though we don't want to fight Sardinia and Corsica if we can avoid it. These are the guys we want to fight. They are currently in mountains, but possibly we can deal with that simply by having lots of people there, or possibly we go and besiege something else. I'm not sure. Everyone seems to like turning down taxes for cities, though. That's good. I seem to have been slightly confused about which county everyone was meant to be massing in. Right, let's turn them into one army. since they're right on the edge of enemy territory, even though they're in mountains, let's give them a fighting chance while we get everyone else together. Right, we now have minimal city levies. So now the Doge of Genoa, I mean, he's not happy, but he's paying us a good deal more tax. I think his income has gone up as well. He's now paying us 43.8 per unit time. I can't remember which unit that is. Per year. Like the mercenaries, we're still losing money, but not very fast. Funding all those mercenaries. I want to think if I can find a way to tempt them into fighting somewhere that isn't there. Let's send my troops around that corner. Get this army together and march them over to somewhere else, and then we'll see what we can do. I wonder if we stomp into Rimini and hope that that tempts Guido down out of the mountains. And like, if it doesn't, we just sit there and besiege Rimini. Right, random set of people in charge of that. Yes, they're going to march straight through that army. I don't really mind. Well, feels kind of rude. I don't have a quarrel with them yet. Oops. There we go. Aha, right, movement. So the Romagnol army is marching up the coast to Ravenna. So, okay, don't move them yet. Wait for Romagnol army to become movement locked. And then actually we'll initially march into San Severino. So we may as well march into San Severino now, given that it's empty. Right. Do I meet them in the hills, or do I hold here in the plains? No, that's not what I meant. You guys are still going there for now. If you guys go into Ravenna, he will have an advantage from the hills. Let's assume that he wants a fight and hope he's willing to take it to us in Ferrara. What? I somehow lost a commander. Actually, Bertoldo's all right. Let's just check we've got commanders in each of these. No, we haven't. We've lost. Well, let's stick Bertoldo into that one then. I mean, actually, we should put the good commanders in this one, shouldn't we? Brennian, Ramiro, and Radboat. And the less good commanders, Hupold, Bertoldo, and Adelhard in that one. Because that one is probably not going to be the first one to get into a fight. Okay, they seem to be sitting down in Ravenna, right. So what we'll do is we'll get our troops organised and then come in from both sides at once and hope the defensive bonus from the hills is not enough to give them a significant advantage. So we have a river crossing penalty from the south. And he has a slight hills advantage. My hope is that will not be enough to cause us trouble. Given we outnumber him more than 2 to 1. Okay, we arrived in slightly the wrong order. But this looks like it's working pretty well. I don't think that's interesting. Right, we have won the Battle of Cesana. We're apparently besieging Ravenna, but surely that's not of a lot of use, given that that's part of the revolt. So I think we want to join those two armies together anyway. Let's have a look at what's going on in his wars. So 90% in favour of Anscario, so we want to take back some territory from Anscario. We also need to do something about Gregory the Black in due course. It's only at 22% for now. So I think I want to march in here and get that territory back from Anscario. Speed time up a bit. Alright, there's only one place here left controlled by Anscario. Slightly surprised he's got 90% war score then. Go on, finish fleeing and immediately get into a fight. No. Right, so those two are fighting one another, conveniently leaving me to whatever I'm doing. Which is trying to get some occupation. Right, the revolt has ended. We are still at war, but looks like the revolt ended in favour of, yes, Queen Alicia has now become Queen of Romagna. We are at war with her still. So we now have a unified Romagna, but which is slightly awkward. So let's just have a look. She's now only 18% down against Gregory because she's got more territory than she had. She has lost Neapolis, is now back in Byzantine hands because Amalfi used its magic powers as a merchant republic to take a city in a county where it had a trade post. So if we ever are in a situation where it looks like going to war with the Byzantine Empire would be a good plan, which it really isn't at the moment, we could try either taking back Neapolis or embargoing Amalfi so as to get rid of all their trade posts up this coast. But that's not a high priority. Right, we've taken Urbino. San Marino will not take long. Just wondering if it's worth assaulting it for speed. But I think... Oh! Ah! Because... No, yes. Pause. Oh, that's fine. Because Guido is no longer king of Romagna, he is a valid candidate for the Kingdom of Italy. Rather, he is a popular candidate. He wasn't before because he was a king. As I mentioned, kings are generally unpopular as successors. So my preferred candidate is Princess Eugenia, but she isn't that popular. Partly just because she's female. She's also unpopular because she's Anglo-Saxon. She's the one who accidentally turned out Anglo-Saxon. She is, on the other hand, a pretty good candidate, as I recall. So 17,378.4 compared to Guido's 710,1407. So, like, she is a better candidate than Guido. Oh dear, Gianleone's ill. Please don't die, Gianleone. I have plans for you. I think Guido's better than Violante. I would still slightly prefer Eugenia if we can get her. So I'm going to keep my vote with Eugenia just in case we can get her back. But we may end up playing as Guido instead. We'll see. So I'm getting a bit lost. These guys just lost a battle, so that's now at 30% in favour of Gregory. We need to hurry up or have another battle with them. I think we might want to see if we can start taking territory off Gregory. That Gregory has already occupied. Because that will increase our war score and reduce Gregory's. So Gregory is down there besieging something else. We don't really want to get into a fight with him. What's he doing by way of... He's just out a tiny amount of attrition for being too far from his supplies. Right, we haven't started this siege yet. Let's go and... We don't want to weaken her too much, though. We want her to have some chance of fighting Gregory. But I don't want to lose war score. Now, I think on balance, I have another battle with her. Oh dear, I'm getting stressed. He's now marching out of there again. We can arrange to meet him in the plains, but I bet he'll just change his mind about that. Let's just sit down here. Right. Taking these places is not going to take us long anyway. That's nice. I think I'm paying slightly too much attention to what Edgefrith is up to. So how are things looking now in terms of the two war scores? I've now got slightly more war score than Gregory has. While I was considering pressing the assault button, we completed that anyway. Right. And if she's going to sit down there... So we need to be a bit careful about Gregory's armies. Oh dear, Dietrich's died. Bet we haven't got a good candidate for... no. Can we find a good candidate? All the people with most learning in the world are, or at least within my diplomatic range. And is that really everyone sorted by learning? Every man within diplomatic range sorted by learning? That's kind of alarming if it's true. Oh, it's got my dynasty. Let's turn off my dynasty. That will make things better. Great house, any. That's better, right. So, what we would like is someone who will or might join my court, who has decent learning and is Catholic. Well, Bohemond of Saumur looks like an excellent person. I'll just have a look at the people a bit further down the list. Might be advantages to having Germans around. Let's invite Caspar. He's got 22. Learning. He might have some interesting claims. He's bright and yeah, fairly catastrophic in most other respects, and German. We have got a siege leader somewhere in here, haven't we? Brenian's a siege leader, yes, good. Indeed, we should see that here. Siege leader times 1.88. Excellent. Welcome, Caspar von Rügen. Oh, most of my court aren't doing anything. Most of my council are not doing anything. That's obviously silly. There's probably not much money to be had. Let's research tech if we're not sure. Obviously she'd take a white piece, but that's not what we want. They look like they may actually be successfully besieging, so we might want to stomp back in there and make sure they stop. But let's finish off this first, because it's only going to take a few days. Ah, it's January 1000, and so things are starting to happen. Yes, as SGT says, Happy Year 1000 party hooter noises. The House of Islam is under grave threat from the onslaught of heathens and infidels in Africa. In response, His Magnificence Caliph Ramadan has declared an era of renewed jihad is upon the world. The western regions of the Ummah must be retaken at all costs. All righteous Muslim men should prepare to join the ranks of the Mujahideen for the upcoming struggle. This signals a renewed era of Islamic expansion. Maybe. disturbing. So once we've finished besieging Rimini, we're going to pop back across and have a quick go at that army in Orvieto. No, not yet. No, stay there. Finish the siege. Okay, I should run this a bit faster. And just march back across and stop the Romagnol army being inconvenient. Yeah, this isn't going to be a problem. It'll take a little while, but... Hang on, hasn't Prince Guido just irritated the hell out of me by having been usurped, has pissed off to Sardinia and Corsica, taking his sons with him? Well, his daughters, sorry. Hello, Francesca. You turned out dull. Yeah, I'm not too worried that you failed to turn out, that you mysteriously turned out Greek rather than German. Don't think you're going to be the first Holy Roman Empress anyway. So, unfortunately, all of Queen Alicia's daughters are of the wrong dynasty, being of the Welf dynasty of her husband. All of my daughters are of the wrong dynasty, being of the Liudolfinger dynasty of my former husband. Henfried Liudolfinger of Germany. My current husband is not going to provide any more children because I'm 47. Ravenna will not take very long, I don't think. We do have a couple of nominally dangerous factions. Oh right, Duke Adelhard of Franconia. Yeah, I can kind of see why he would want independence, but we don't really want to give it to him. I don't want to imprison him, I want to make him happier, not less happy. Oh, I have lots of jobs we can give him though. Let us make him our master of the horse if we can. Just considering whether those are useful roles to fill. Should I recruit someone as court dwarf or court eunuch? Anyway, unpause. Let's let some things happen. So Prince Guido, Prince Guido's army, for King Thing, Gregory has still not managed to take the various things in the in Napoli. We meanwhile are doing a pretty good job up here. We should get to 100% war score fairly soon. Okay. That army is now moved. The Sardinian and Corsican army is now moving. We might want to pay attention to where they're going to. Oh, the Romagnol army is managing to besiege something again. Right, so do we just sit down here, or do we try to intercept the Sardinian and Corsican army and give them a good thrashing? Right, he's disbanded his independence faction. Good. If we put our army in Urbino, then these guys can't go in there and settle down in somewhere with that's really well easily defended. They'll have to come through Rimini, and if they come to Rimini, then we can go down and splat them in Rimini. I think I'm going to move my army into Urbino for defensibility. And then see what the Sardinian and Corsican army does. I think we may need to give them a slight beating just to keep them humble. So we want to make sure that they... So I think what I do is I wait for them to become movement locked into Rimini. And then charge down out of the hills myself to face them on the plains. Charge down out of the mountains, rather. Oh dear. Alberic of Aquino, who was son of Gregory the Thin-Minded, has died of depression. That's sad. I'm going to need a new Chancellor. No one there I desperately want to give the job to. Tempting. Looks like a generally good person to have around, and quite interesting being a monophysite. Like, Aldrich is the obvious boring candidate. He's not very boring, mind, but let us invite the Marshal of Mercuria to our court. We've been attacked in Rimini, by which I mean we carefully positioned ourselves to be attacked in Rimini. We'll get no war score from this because it's not against the defender, but we will slow down Sardinia and Corsica's Can we get you to convert to Christianity? Probably fairly easily. Yeah, have some booze. Have a cask of beer. Now you're willing to become, not Christianity, to Catholicism. Now you're willing to become Catholic. Ieyasu. I played as the Ieyasu dynasty, I think. Think so. Certainly was near some Iyasus over there. Well, I've run out of beer for now. But maybe her husband will persuade her to convert. Okay, there's a castle here that we apparently haven't besieged. Okay, well, we'll just stay here for a bit then. Right, so new facts. If you appoint someone as successor to the Pope, which I think I did, I'm now slightly worried I may not have, but what the hell, he looks all right. I should make sure, I should actually appoint good people as successors to the Pope. Then you get then the new person becomes anti-Pope still, so we get to keep our Pope in Tivoli. We should actually, make sure we appoint a good successor to him, though. Like Caspar von Rugen, for instance. Who really should have been the successor anyway. I think my previous... I should have done that when I changed court chaplains, was the point that was arranged that the new one would be... Aha! Yes, Pope Clemens is now Pope in Rome. Not to be confused with the Pope in Rome. Okay, he's still listed as Tivoli there, even though his primary title is apparently meant to be Roma. Why is he in Tivoli then? Is Tivoli one of the other places in Roma? Oh, right, he has apparently settled himself in the castle of Tivoli rather than making his primary his county capital. I don't know what he's doing. I shan't worry about it. Oh, there was a plot I wanted to stop, wasn't there? Someone is plot. Oh no, someone was plotting to kill that person who died of depression anyway. So probably doesn't matter. Right, my hope is that this siege won't matter to me. Actually, where is the more popular pope at the moment, I wonder? He is still in Roma. Right, so now we're at 81% war score. Nope, still not willing to give up. Well, I mean, we could give Sardinia and Corsica's army another thrashing. But I think we're probably better off. And possibly the best thing is to head down there where the garrisons are a bit weak. Now, let's stay up here. Shorter walks. Oh, they've raised some more troops. Hang on, my Chancellor's not doing anything. Let's send him to improve relations with Genoa, I think. Maybe it shouldn't have been Genoa, maybe it should have been wherever that German chap was. Meanwhile, we will besiege Cesana. For additional war score. Like, you're going to lose. You could just, like, surrender. It would make life simpler. He's founded an independence faction again. Please stop founding independence factions. Okay, we've got lots of military knowledge. Which one of these do I want then? General morale improvement and supply limit improvement. Better sieges. Better melee, better thing, better thing, better thing. I mean, we've got most of the way to the next military organisation anyway. I mean, pikemen are the thing that we do in Italy, which would suggest we might want to boost our melee or infantry. Let's go for boosting our infantry knowledge. %. Are you willing to surrender now? No. Which one of these is softer? That one's got a church as its first thing, so let's go up to Ferrara. I'm going, should I go and push him out of there? Those are planes. We could... I know we should at least take Ferrara. Yeah, because that's lost us a bit of war score. I think we can gain it up here faster than we can lose it down there. See? We'll take the Duchy of Capua by other means anyway. Duchy of Hesse is like, yeah, we'd like to try that. Alright, that's where the Romagnol army is. Being unhelpful over in... it looks like Sardinia and Corsica may also be in the middle of another war, given that lot. Yes, he's defending against Ogliastra. Well, that's nice. You could always just give up on this war. We are, I think, going to have to march back into Orvieto at some point soon. And say, no, we'll have that, thank you. Right, excellent. He now likes me. My brilliant Chancellor can be moved, so let's move him up to Bamberg. Just about be able to assault that by the time we've finished besieging it anyway. I'm slightly confused by the fact that my amount of money is going up even though my monthly balance is minus 0.4. Like, where's it coming from? Oh, is this simply that each time I win a siege I get a bit of money? Like 16 money from that siege. Oh, is the last place here not owned by them? Yes. Well, let's go down and deal with that lot then, because they're reducing our war score. Sorry, Romagnol army, I'm marching straight through you. %5 war score for that one. Well, general principles, I can almost certainly... Am I actually getting any war score for him? No. Well, let's quickly ransom him. Of course I'm not getting any war score from him. He's not even the correct combatant. Got quite a lot of money now. I should probably... What little domain I have, I should probably set about improving. Can we get up to castle infrastructure 4 yet? No, let's save our castle infrastructure progression so that we can get castle town 4. This will not take long to push over. Dithering about assaulting. What have I got an imprisonment right against at the moment? Michael von Schwarz. Because he is plotting to kill some random person I don't care about, I think. Goodness, another year's passed. Right, 96% war score. Is that enough? No. Tuscany has gone, I can get Sismonte back. Okay. Because they've noticed that I've so comprehensively weakened Sardinia and Corsica. Well, off you go. Meanwhile, we have a 100% war score against Romagna. Don't think there's anything else we need to do in this war. We don't have any prisoners left from it, do we? No. We don't really want to sack things any further because it's going to be our territory soon anyway. We're probably going to find ourselves at war with Gregory. Right, so we have successfully taken Romagna back. We are now at war with Gregory for Romagna, and he is currently occupying Portici and Pozzuoli and Aversa and Cumae. And I'm pretty sure so yeah, we probably want to fully defeat him if we can. Conveniently, there are some of his armies kicking around. So let's go up and say hello to them. Meanwhile, I've got 438 money. I'm wondering if it's worth improving the Apostolic Palace. Anything cheap there? No, not really. I wonder what I want from this. think I want the Apostolic Palace retinue next. Well, she's quite nice. Pity she's not of our dynasty, really. Well, if you want. I mean, like, I'm not actually planning to go very far afield. Basically, the only person I'm going to get into a fight with, if anyone, apart from Germany... Okay, where are you locked in movement to now? Bologna. Plains, okay. You've met me on the field of battle before. The outcome is rarely good. Oh, right, we have an offer. White peace? No. I'm wanting you to lose your claim on Romagna. I am going to thrash you quite firmly into the ground. Not sure I want you killing the Duke of Milan. Particularly his heir's a child. I mean, okay, his heir has marginally better martial skill. They're both terrible. I'm generally fairly relaxed about people killing people who aren't my direct vassals. She's probably quite annoyed with me anyway. And that might push him out of the line of succession, which is probably good. Oh no, he'll only become a duke. He's still pissed off with me. For historical reasons as well. He's got a lot of claims. Mostly of things he'll inherit in due course anyway. That would... yeah, I don't know. Leave the plots to run if I'm not sure. They make life more interesting anyway. Yes, I will. Just don't don't go around killing my favourite vassals. Yes, don't go killing him either. That's such an unsuccessful plot, I'm not too worried about it. On the other hand, he's not someone who matters. If he wants to, not going to meddle with people fabricating claims. A long walk down Italy, isn't it? Just to reclaim my territory down here. Right, that will be done soon enough. I think this is now officially a defensive war, so they shouldn't be getting more pissed off about this. Oh dear, Prince Heinrich has died. Happily, everyone is in different factions. That one is worrying me, though. Let me send my... what's the... There's a thing you can do that is... discourage someone from being in a faction. Is it scheme? Yes. Let us send my spy master to scheme. Which one of those is going to be the strongest? Let's send my spy master to scheme here, actually. Meanwhile, let's try to improve diplomatic relations with the place where we have terrible diplomatic relations at the moment, which is Latium. Because we just defeated her. Yes. He's currently in Napoli. She is grumpy because she wants to control the Prince Bishopric of Roma, and she wants the Kingdom of Romagna and the County of Capua, and I defeated her and usurped her title. And yes, that's very nice. Can I imprison you? Oh, she's excommunicated, so no one will care. Oh, can I? I don't. I still can't revoke her title, can I? No. Because fundamentally our laws don't allow that. And I can't declare war on her because she's my own vassal. No one will care about our imprisoning her since she's excommunicated, and it will reduce her ability to cause trouble. Yeah, I think I don't want to try to cheer her up. I think I want to get her, if not actually out of her... I want to get rid of her as far as I can, and I think throwing her in prison and possibly then putting her in the... let's save that until we finish this current war, actually. Because there's a good chance we'll end up at war with her. And we can't revoke her title because we don't yet have... Because our realm laws don't have high enough crown authority. We could try to increase our crown authority, of course. Don't think she was anyone of any significance. Right, we've taken back Aversa. So this will take us up. We can get up to about 40% war score just by finishing these sieges. My steward has apparently done something magical. On the other hand, if I've already got these troops raised, maybe I should crush her. No. Maybe. So, is he likely to be susceptible to threats? He is brave, which worries me a bit. He's also already stressed. Go on, let's try it and see. Right. Dangerous faction disbanded. Chancellor should go back to improving diplomatic relations. You can carry on scheming and see what else you find out. Now we have a rather alarming elective succession. Adelhard, you just promised you wouldn't join any factions. Interesting, I can actually revoke his titles. And I'm not going to. Well, it's a danger. Murdered by Adelhard of Franconia. Oops. Well, it happens. Here's a convenient backstabber from Connaught. Who got murdered? My spy master got murdered. He was busy scheming in Franconia to try to break up a faction and was murdered by the person he was scheming against. Oh, but we have this Prince Archbishop who's actually an excellent schemer. Well, I mean, on general principles, I like to appoint my vassals. Get you over to Bamberg and discourage him again. Try not to get murdered like the last one did. Why can't I appoint a successor to the Pope? Is he ended up not being my direct vassal or something? He is my direct vassal. Why can't I appoint his successor? Oh, because he's moved to Roma, yes. And while his primary title's Roma, I can't appoint his successor. What a nuisance. I have no idea what you're doing here, but let's try to improve the learning of my people. Right, bet you're not willing to give me a surrender yet, are you? No. Right, well, that will probably help with the faction. Yes, right. Well, they're going to be stuck there for a little while. General check is the... No, no, no. Damn it, you're meant to be staying there. What I meant was... Is the Byzantine Empire still scary? Which it is. I accidentally instead ordered my people to march across the hill and back. Oh, Romania and Italy both have free investiture. Pope Clemens II is my direct vassal. But the bizarre thing is that his primary title is Prince Bishopric of Roma, which slightly oddly does... Oh, because he's still in a castle for reasons I really don't understand. Kind of tempted now to just wait this out. I mean, those are decaying anyway, because this is technically a defensive war, though. Might take me a little while to find enough fleets to transport this lot across to Sardinia and Corsica. I need 43. That might do the trick. Yes, that's enough. That's nice. I don't think that helps me any, because I think Romagna is not de jure part. Well, anyway, we already have, yeah. Both of these have still have minimum crown authority, so I can still increase those. I can't change obligation laws, but I can change increased crown authority. And this would slightly annoy my vassals, but would allow me title revocation. Kind of tempting. Title revocation is useful. That one would, that's where the neighbours are trying to seize one of his counties, so let's help him with that one. If we can. Apparently we can't. we don't want to interfere in that war, so we will head over here. Because these are claims on different things, I'm not hostile to the armies of the various people who are currently attacking Sardinia and Corsica. Oh, but there's a siege going on here already, so I may not actually be of any use to them either. In that case, let's march out of this county. We won't want to help those guys. Better siege all of our very own. I mean, the war score's creeping up anyway, simply because we control the whole of Romagna still. We do need thus to make sure that he doesn't actually start besieging anything in Romagna. The moment he does, we pile into this ship. Right. And yes, we'll only have half morale when we come ashore, but that's really not going to be a problem. Lots of lovely war score for winning a battle. Ah, Princess Eugenia has become our heir again. Excellent. Barely. Right, I think we actually have a decent amount of war score even without that. That battle just gave us most of what we need. So can we get any useful money by ransoming him? No. Okay, for 10 gold it's not worth the hassle. Only 36 money now because he's got no money. But importantly, he loses his claim on Romagna. He still has a claim on Italy, mind. We don't have... Oh, right. We do actually have a Casus Belli against him. I wonder if it's an interesting one. Still, for now, we should disband our vassal levies. So rather amusingly, our hired army is actually now larger than it was when we started that war. Right, so we can't claim Sardinia and Corsica for ourselves. We could claim it for a bunch of other people, but what's the point? We don't actually want to annoy Gregory. They're part of the defensive pact against me now. And I don't currently have a casus belli. The Byzantine Empire is relatively scary. I'm at the moment essentially going around my neighbours going, do I have an interesting casus belli against you? Given that I have a decent amount of troops kicking around. Like, the Arletian revolt is kind of tempting. We could finally take Nice. Maybe I should not attempt. Like, Queen Lucia wasn't really intended to be like this terrifying thing, but she's been doing pretty well martially, despite having a martial skill of 7, which she's still trying to improve. Let's just have another look around the children. Scrolled to the wrong end, that's why. So we have Princess Paola now of Sardinia and Corsica. Clotilda. So she is Sardinia and Corsica, and yes, he's not going to let her into my hands. Hence, similarly, Gregory. Gian Leone is still Italian. Alicia is only 5. We can certainly bring her into our court, and then we might be able to send her out to that's curious. So let's try that and then see if we can. I mean, presumably that can't happen until she's 6, though. Is Cornelia a yes, Cornelia is a perfectly good person to be teaching someone. Houpold might actually be better, but I think there's some rule that is indicate. Is it that she's only? Yes, I think it's a culture thing. She won't have her educated by someone of the wrong culture. But maybe once we've got Alicia in our hands, we can change that. Back to Guido again. So yeah, I'm tempted to try to take Nice. But I think that's a sensible bit of territorial, like, condensation. Also improve his opinion of me, rather. But it is midnight, so that war should probably wait for another day. Let's just wait and see if we can sort out that bit of education while my armies are organising themselves. So here's Alicia di Spoleto. Right, but I can't reassign her to someone else. As in, if I ask to change her guardian, I only get offered people in my court. And I can't choose Alicia as one of the people whom I have control over. I do oddly have control over Gianleone, and I still don't quite understand how, but I'm not going to argue with that. Right. Still, we'll keep Alicia in our court. She's probably helpful to have around. Who's in our prison? No one. Okay. Who should be in our prison? Oh, there was someone I was going to imprison, wasn't there? Pause, Ben. Because Princess Alicia really dislikes me and is unlikely to change in that respect. But she's also excommunicated, so no one will care if we imprison her. There's a good chance that we'll end up at war with her. But that's fine. Well, it might be fine. Well, I mean, since those troops have only barely left Napoli, what else does she control? So despite that highlighting, I don't think she actually has... Oh, she probably has that as... She probably has some vassals, doesn't she? Well, in that case, you guys stop there and we'll see what you start besieging. Okay. There's some complicated family thing. So that siege is going to take a while. Right, I think I'm going to... Oops. Try to remember where the pause button is. Stop for tonight in the middle of this war. And we'll probably take on Nice as well next time. Because I think I probably want more troops than this. It's going to take quite a long time to deal with these sieges otherwise. So what's going to... Oh yes, what's going to be the outcome of this then? Basically, we gain a tiny amount of prestige and we imprison her. It's not very helpful, but like she's an inconvenience. Right, so at this point I will save and quit. And then I will say goodnight. Find the correct button. Good night.